Hey guys, I'm Bruce. Welcome back to another video. In this video, I'm going to show you how I made these floating shelves. So this is not my laundry room. I'm at my friends Jessica and Nick's house. I'm at Lakeside Woodworks doing a bunch of projects, and this is their laundry room. So Nick recently built and installed this butcher block countertop in their laundry room, and we were able to make these floating shelves from the cutoffs. So let me show you how we made them. What you see here is a leftover piece of butcher block countertop that you can buy at some local stores, to you probably. This was left over from Lakeside Woodworks' home renovation project that they did on their laundry room. We're going to cut it up into a couple pieces and make floating shelves out of it. I am obviously not the first person to do a video on floating shelves, but this was a little bit of a different method of how we go about it, and the way we attached them to the wall was slightly different. So I thought it would be interesting to show you how we did it. Here I'm just marking with a pencil and then sanding to get rid of those pencil lines so that I know it's sanded enough before I put a slight round over on the edge with a router. There's really not more prep to it than that before I start adding some finish. For this finish, I'm using Danish oil in the natural color, and you just flood it on the surface, and then after about 15 minutes come back and wipe off any excess. It leaves a really nice matte finish. Here's a quick tip. If you'll notice the boards that are underneath these shelf pieces, we actually nailed some scraps to the back side of the shelves with some brad nails, and that will allow these pieces to stand up without me worrying about them falling over or getting knocked over while applying the finish. Then, after we were done, I just took a hammer and knocked those boards off, and the brad nails came right out with it. You'll never see it because it's actually the back part of the shelf that goes up against the wall. This was a really helpful hint that I got from Nick over at Lakeside, and it was fantastic. I'm definitely going to be using this one again. Once the finish was very dry, I was able to make another rip at the table saw, making sure to keep this board with its offcut. We will be putting them back together later, and it'll make a little bit more sense what I'm talking about in the next step. Next up is the part that I think is a little bit different than what I've seen out there for most other floating shelf videos. We actually used his Domino XL and these giant dominoes that were just under 4 inches long, and that's what we were going to slip the front of the shelf onto. These large dominoes are really going to support the shelf well, and they'll be totally hidden once we get the back pieces aligned and installed onto the wall. Then we'll just slip the front piece onto it. Then it was into the laundry room to do some measuring, to find the studs, and then drill some holes for the panhead screws that we're going to use to attach to the studs. We needed to counterbore one side of it so that the head of these screws could sit down flush and not hold our shelves off from going tightly on there. As you can see, these large dominoes or floating tenons are sticking out from the piece that gets installed on the wall. These are going to be what the front shelf slips onto to actually hold the entire thing in place. You could really do the same thing with some large dowel rods. That would not be a bad solution to this either. And just as simple as that, we slip the shelf on and it fits really nicely. These dominoes have a nice tight fit, so we didn't even have to secure the shelves with a screw down into the domino. Off camera, we installed the other shelf to the wall, and here you can see Nick just slide it into place. For the final bit of finish, we're using some paste wax, just buffing it on with a clean cloth and letting it sit for a minute, then buffing it right back off. Well, that's really all there is to it. I hope this showed you a different way to install floating shelves, and maybe that is something that you can tackle. It really has elevated this room and just finish off the look from the countertops that they already had, and using some of that leftover material to put some floating shelves that continue with the same theme. So I really like the way these shelves turned out. This laundry room really came together. This is Jessica. She runs all the social media for Lakeside Woodworks, and also does a lot of interior design and styling. So she made this look fantastic. We just did the shelves. I really appreciate that, but she's gonna be talking more about a lot of kind of how she does the design, getting a blog going, but they do a lot of that type stuff on their Instagram account also. So I'll have links below to everything. She's gearing up to talk even more about the interior design stuff, so be sure to check that out. Thanks so much for checking out this video. I really like how simple it was, but we were able to use the offcuts from y'all's countertop and make shelves out of it. So I love simple things you can kind of use the extras or repurpose. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you next time. That was good. It's a little long, but it was good.
Okay.
Think it was good enough?
I think so.
Okay.